Okay, welcome everybody to the call. Let's get this show on the road. Let me make sure that you guys can see me and hear me. Let's get this up. There we go. Okay, welcome everybody to the call. Fantastic, we're live. Good to see you guys. How are we doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me get this set up so we're good. Fantastic. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Where are we tuning in from? Put it in the chat. Let's see where you're tuning in from. We have New Zealand. Kia ora to you, Dave in New Zealand. Gani, Utah, USA. Namaya, London, UK. I saw your trade set up earlier today in the group chat. Nice. Sergio, good to see you, brother, in Romania. Joe in Kauai, Hawaii. Emmeline, good to see you, darling. Good evening. Good evening, Liliani, I believe that is. Emmeline, great to see you, San Francisco, Honolulu. We also see Sandy Harris, great to see you, bro. New Zealand in the house. Everybody's doing good. Nice. What's this? Antioch is in the house. Did I say that right? Peter, Sydney, Australia. Drian, UK. Good morning, Bav. Great to see. All right, guys, this is the first time ever that I have done this. This is streaming live on YouTube as well. So I'm very excited to be able to do this, and I'm documenting the entire journey and the entire process of figuring out this game of trading. That definitely is one that is worth pursuing, but also one that can really play with your mind. Alan, Paphos, Cyprus, great to see. What's the temperature over there in Cyprus right now? So I put a couple of things together just to go over a bit of an idea of how I'm perceiving this entire process, what I'm doing to try and master trading, hence why it's called Hunt Mastery. And I've recognized that it is definitely possible for people to have successful trading, but there's a lot of dynamics, a lot of ingredients, there's a lot of things outside influences that will affect it. And as I said, I wanted to document everything. So I'm going to be doing a live call on YouTube at least once a week, maybe twice a week. We're going to open it up for anybody to come on. We have our own private group, obviously, that have access to our group chats and the trade ideas and things like that, where we earn and learn together. That's what I like to call it. All right. But let's get straight to it, because I want to go over some details first. And I was just putting together, firstly, terms and conditions. I want to make it clear with a disclaimer. I am not a professional trader. I am somebody that's trying to figure it out. I am your average retail trader that has figured out a couple of strategies that you can make profits, but you can also lose money. And it's very important to know that trading is extremely risky. You can lose all your money, okay? I'm going to show you my strategy that I use. And if you watched the other day, I had quite a big loss as well. So it doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean that I'm going to make money today. But I'm going to show you what I do on this process. And if you like the results that you see over the weeks and months and years, and they inspire you, then hopefully these calls will help, okay? But very, very important to know, this is a call that I'm just going to share with you what I do. And, you know, you can't lose all of your money today. So do not trade the amount of money that you are not willing to lose. Okay. Only play with money that you're willing to lose. If you're not prepared yet, then go with a demo account and play around with it. All right. We've got a group, a membership group of people that we're all trading together, being taught by some really good educators as well, with a membership program. So if that's something of interest, then let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to share the process. I wanted to put some things together on what I'm learning on this journey. And the first part is having a trade plan. So before we even go and trade, it's important to have a trade plan. And I'm tweaking this all the time. So take a screenshot. You may see in 6-12 months that this is slightly different. But the first thing is to have a pre-trading mindset. So before trading, make sure that you have the correct mindset. be in the correct state of mind to trade. That coincides beautifully with the second part. Be in the right environment. If you're traveling, you're driving, you're in the car, you're trying to trade from your mobile phone, or you've got stress going on, you've got kids around, you've got family around you, whatever it may be. If you're not in the right environment and you're serious about becoming a successful trader, then that's going to have a detrimental effect on your results. You may get away with it once, twice, maybe even 5 times, but all it takes is one time that you get it wrong, in the wrong environment, with the wrong mindset, and it can be game over very, very quickly. Number 3, have a pre-trade routine. I like to get up at around 5:15 in the morning, go for a walk for over 6 to 10 kilometers, listen to my audio books, take a look at the charts, but don't do anything about it. Just look at the charts, see how price is moving, and do my affirmations, which I do every single day, and maybe a workout, depending on which day it is. I like to have that all in place. I try not to eat after 7 p.m. at night. Yesterday was around 6 p.m. last night with just a salad. And then that means that I have been fasting now for 13 hours with just having a black coffee, espresso, and that is it. And I probably won't eat for at least another hour to 2 hours. Then number 4, have a trade routine. All right, I'm going to show you mine for during trading. So you have a pre-routine, you have a routine when you trade, and then you have a routine for after trading. That basically means something that's going to get you the heck off the charts, because one of the biggest issues that I've found for me is not actually trading. It's not the pre-trading. I actually do well trading. It's I go back on the charts and I trade again. And so that's really important, to be in the right environment, to understand how your mind and addiction is making you go back on the charts, and also not having a clearer vision on the longer term plan, that today is not going to impact the end result now. It's not. It will have a ripple effect and a domino effect if you stick to it. But otherwise, this is a huge thing that if you go back on the charts, then you could wipe out all the work that you've done. So for me, what's helped for me? And as I said, this is just what I put together now. My trade plan, I like to get exercise, have a clear mind before trading. Then I like to go and look at the charts, just map out the charts, see what's going on, look at some other people's ideas of what's going on with the charts. Then another point that you want to write down is check the news. And I always like to look at what's going on within the Asian range, and I'll show that with you, but check what news is going on. You do not want to be trading and be caught out when news comes out of nowhere and just wipes you out. Okay, so this is important. Number 4, identify potential trade zones of where you're looking to potentially take trades, of where your areas are, map them out, and then set alerts. I have my Apple Watch, which is charging now. And when I'm out walking, I have the alert set. So it gives me, I don't have to keep looking at the chart all the time. I can listen to my audio. And then every now and then when my watch goes off, I look and, okay, price is starting to move that way. We're getting some momentum now. Number 6, know my trade percentages, lot sizes, take profit, and stop loss. Okay. So if you have a $500 or $1,000 account, know what percentage you're aiming for, know what percentage you are willing to risk per trade, and know what percentage for take profit. Okay, know what you're on a daily look. What are you looking to try and achieve? For me, it's 0.5% to 1.5% is a very good day for me. And know what your limits are for the end of the day. This is something I am still working on. Okay, I'm still working on. I can go weeks, even months. I went over 3 months being consistently profitable, and then it just took one day where I took my foot off the pedal, I took my eye off the ball, I didn't stick to my routine, and it wiped out the entire 3 months worth of work. So it's really important that you really focus on this. And every time you mess up, just know that providing you don't quit and you're looking to figure it out, you will figure it out. It may take time. You may make the same mistake over and over and over again, but providing you don't quit, eventually something will click where it will change. Okay. And number 8, as I said, have a routine for stepping away from the charts once trading is finished. Today, we're going to do this call. I've already traded today, but today we're going to do this call. And then I know I have to be off the call by around 9:15 because we got daddy daycare and a lot of other things to get on and do. All right, guys. So I hope that this helps. Now, my strategy that I use is more of a scalping strategy. It works for me. Scalping essentially means taking small profits from trades. I don't normally make my full profit target for the day in one trade. I have known to do that, but most of the time I'm scalping. So I essentially take 0.1% to 0.5% per trade. Sometimes I can catch 1% in a trade, but I like to get in, get out 5 pips, 10 pips, 15 pips, 20 pips. That's what I'm looking at. Most scalpers take over 5 trades per day. It doesn't mean they all do, but a lot of them that I've seen, they like to get in, see a candlestick structure, take a few pips, get out, and then come back again. This fits my personality type. If this strategy does not fit your personality type, just go and try and figure out what works for you. All right, guys, go and try and figure out what works for you, and then you'll eventually find out what is the most comfortable trading strategy. Okay, so let's go over to the charts and take a little look. I've had a load of areas mapped out, but what I'm actually going to do, I am going to delete everything. Okay, so let's delete everything and just show you what I personally would look at. So first, we go to the news. All right, today this is at 10:30. This is Czech Republic time. So 9:30 a.m. UK time, you have GBP news. Now, I found that GBP news can affect gold. Okay, so pay attention to that. Then at 2:15 p.m. UK time, there is USD news as well. So expect some sort of volatility. Now, sometimes if there's news later on, a red folder for dollar, then you can find consolidation until then, but you can also find movement happening. So I am going to go straight away to the monthly and have a look at what the monthly is saying. And as I said, guys, I'm not a professional. This is just, I just identify things that work for me. All right, that work for me. So what I like to do, I like to map out areas of interest on the monthly. So you can see here that we have an open and close of the monthly candles and wicks that struggle to break it and use it as resistance. And again, so this is a monthly area that is of interest to me. I'm also going to put where this wick is at the top as well, because this is, you can see one tried to break it, couldn't, tried to break it, couldn't, again, 2, 3, that's 5 times, 6 times touched it. And now you can see it's active as a support resistance. So this is a very, very strong area for me on the monthly. Above price as well, we have this zone here with the previous close and open. And these are just areas that I like to map out and then go to the lower time frames and see what we can see. On the weekly, we are bearish. Okay, so we are in a bear market on the weekly for the last 2 weeks now. Let me change that. Change that here. There we go. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we are on the weekly on a downtrend right now. You can see that this week already in the first 2 days, 3 days, sorry, has taken out the entire previous wick of the last area. And this ended up being a very strong resistance zone. All right, very strong resistance zone. Now with the war going on in Israel, price can have an erratic push up to the upside, just spontaneous, which means the technicals go out the window really because the news can impact it. But right now, this seems to be trending quite nicely. If you get your fib tool and you just fib the bottom of this wick to the top of this area, as an example, then you can see certain areas of interest that we're getting stuck at now. First area, second area, third area down here as well. Now, if I turn on the Ichimoku cloud, which I like to use as well, now you can see that we are actually above the cloud as we speak at level 1. Level 2, we're looking at this area, again, where the cloud has got a nice, what we call like a bit like a tabletop. It also is an area of the monthly high, and it is the 0.382. And then you've got this, what I call like the golden zone here, where you've got a crossover. So pulling down is definitely something that the fib tool and the cloud are telling me that price could come down. Let's go. I don't see anything else on the weekly that's of interest to me. I like to use the daily. as my strongest confirmation for certain things, plus the 4 hour and the 2 hour. Okay. So if we kind of zoom in and we look at the daily, we are trying to break this really strong area. And if we go like this, and I get this, let me do this 1 second. And if we just do an area here, okay, you can see this zone here. Prices got stuck, tried to break it, used it as a support, as a resistance, all of this. And if we carry on pulling this along, it's acted as a resistance, broke above it, used it as support, and now we've broken back through it again. So if we get a push back up to this area, a high possibility of trying to find some scalp sells. Most of my scalp sells, I look for 10 to 15 pips. 10 to 20 pips, okay? So most of my scalp sells, I look for 10 to 20 pips. And let me just get that up there. So we've got a nice area here of interest. Let me change the color so I don't like that. There we go, cool. There we go. Okay, so we've got this area of interest. It's just a rough area, but now you can see that the last 2 days, we had this push up. Okay, as you can see now, we can straighten out this downtrend as such, like so. Okay, we've had this push up, created a high, created the low, created a new lower high here, and now we are looking at creating a new lower low. However, we can see that price is trying to play around in this zone. We have the wick to the bottom side, and we have no top wick on this daily here, and we have no bottom wick on it, and then no top wick here. So really strong selling volume, but it seems like that we are getting some sort of support being created at the bottom. It's a bit of a dangerous zone right now. If price could push down and just take out the rest of this wick, or it could just come back up and take out majority of this body as well. So we have to now dive in deeper and take a little look at what we can see. But as I said, 10 to 20 pips for me, it doesn't really affect me too much if price is pushing up or down. Obviously, you want to go with the trend. So if you can catch a trade where the daily, the 12-hour, 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour are all moving in the same way, then taking a trade in that direction obviously is going to help with the momentum for it being more of a positive trade. Okay. Now we go to the 12-hour. 12 hours, no top wick, nice big long bottom wick, and you can see that there's no other wick up until this area here. Okay, on the 12-hour. So if we go to the daily, you can, if I put an orange area here at the bottom of this wick, let me put this. And now we can see that this is a huge imbalance here that has not been corrected yet at all. So this is an area of interest. Let's go to the 8-hour, have a little look. Now you can see on the 8-hour, we have this zone. That if price does come up to here, then that is a possibility of me looking for a scalp sell. Possible if that's during a day that I'm looking for a trade. I'm not looking for any more trades today. So again, if you look at this on the downtrend, you got the down, up, down, retest at this area, another confirmation on the downtrend that there is potential sales at this zone. Other than that, I don't see anything else on the 8-hour. We have this area down the bottom that I will map out as well for potential buys. Scalp buys, let's do this. And that is the 8-hour as well. Let's go to the green. Take a little look at this, done. And there we go, cool. Coolio. All right, so let's go to the 4-hour. We have 2 hours left of the 4-hour. And we have this nice consolidation over here on the left-hand side. So do not be surprised if something happens at this zone. Over here, I'll put a little red, green line here. Let's put 4-hour. This is an area of interest for sure. On the upside, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, near enough 8 candles, which have all pushed down. And now you've got this consolidation. below this breakout area. So a retracement back up is possible, of course. So if we just fib tool this to here, then you can see where the golden zone or the blue zone is up at this area too. All right. So if price comes up there, another confirmation for me to possibly look for scalp sells. 3 hour, I'm not really a big fan of the 3 hour, so I'm going to go straight to the 2. Now, this is what I'm interested more so. We have a new 2 hour candle starting in 9 minutes. Here you can see this big push down, and then you've got this area here on the 2 hour, and this is where I would look to take a scalp sell. Providing this is nowhere near news, this is where I'd look to take a scalp sell. So I used to take it at the wick, but I found that the body was a safer confirmation for me. And then I use what I call a 20/20 sell plan, which is like this. Okay, so that would be my trade. Within reason, that would be my trade that I'll be looking for. And then I'd work out how much I'm willing to risk for that trade. Above price, we've got another 2 hour area up here, which coincides nicely with our nice support zone and resistance zone. So we've got a 2 hour here. So if price pushes up, that's what I would possibly be looking for. Now let's go to the cloud and have a little look at what the cloud is saying. Cloud is looking at giving me a confirmation to try and come back up to here. You can see the red TK lines that have split. That's always been a confirmation for me that price could push back up into the zone. You can see that. I really would like a nice close or push up into this area first to believe that we're going to go up all the way up to this zone. But again, when we fib tool and look at a lot of things, then there's a possibility. However, taking buys during this time right now is going against the trend. So I would lower the lot sizes. I really would. I would lower the risk. Otherwise, you could end up having a painful day like I've had before. Asian range I like to look at from the 1 hour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a line for the Asian range, which is here, 50% of the Asian. Cool. Let's do this. It's 50% of the Asian range, so I know where the Asian range is. Let me just move that slightly. Okay, cool. So we are in and around 50% of the Asian range already. Sweet. Okay, cool. So 1 hour cloud is telling me bouncing around the cloud. We're underneath the main overall cloud. Okay, 1 hour, we have certain areas of interest. So we have this one up here. Nice 1 hour area for a potential scalp sell. Okay, we have this 1 hour area here as well. That price hasn't touched. The wick near enough touched it, but the actual body has not been touched yet. And on the downside, you can see here that this one hasn't been touched as well. So I'm going to map this one out on the downside too. And take a little look and see. Sometimes this thing just wants to have a mind of its own. Let's just change it here. Cool. When I stream online, sometimes, I don't know why, but let me see if there we go, 1 hour. Other than that, I don't really see anything else on the higher time frames. If we go to the 30-minute, I really don't see anything at the moment of interest at all. If we just draw some basic support resistance areas, you've got this one here. This is a nice support zone. Let's change that to yellow. And we have a resistance area up the top here. I like to do my support and resistance on the 30-minute. There's a gentleman by the name of Raja Banks. He does it on the 30-minute, and it's worked really well for me. Let's just go back to the daily a second, have a look at the daily. 30-minute. Julio. So 20-minute, 15-minute. So if you're trying to catch any trades in between this area, it's only a 40 pip range. It's really difficult to catch the right trade. Yeah, there'll be opportunities to scalp, but what you want to do, my prediction is that there's not going to be a lot of movement in the London session. So I would personally start putting alerts at these areas to see if something will happen. If you take a look at the 4-hour now, we have this 4-hour candle has basically just retested the previous open, and we've got that nice rejection. But look at the 2-hour, and the 2-hour is about to close. The 2-hour hasn't flipped. So a push down to back up to hit this wick is definitely possible. If price pushes down first, then I believe there is a high possibility of a rejection to push back up. But you're really feeding off scraps if you're going to look to try and take a trade in and around this zone. More than likely, you may see something reject around here. I'll change that to a different color so that let's change it to purple. Okay, more than likely, you'll see something happen around here at this zone. If I go to the 3, or even here, where you've got this brother engulfing. So is there a possibility of a scalp buy at that zone? If you want to take the risk and go for it, me personally, depending on how I feel and see the move, there is a possibility, but you know, the safer bet really is to wait for a kind of a breakout to these areas. And then you've got this drop down to the bottom area, which I am not looking at as much. My overall consensus is a push up rather than a push down. But again, as I said on the daily, we are bearish. Look at the size of this wick. We've got news coming in over the coming hours. So, you know, this is gold. Gold can do whatever the heck it wants to do, really, and totally wipe you out. But let's see. How are you guys getting on with your trading? Oh, man, I can see load of you on the call. Fantastic. Any of you guys been in trades today? Any of you traded this week? Here's my MyFX book. I set up a new one for people to see it. So yeah, I'll post that in the group afterwards so that you guys can go and pay attention to that. Okay. Slow and steady. Okay, rack, nice. Slow and steady wins the race. Excellent. So yeah, if I was looking to take a bit more higher risk, then on the lower time frames, we are on more of an uptrend right now. So if price came down to this area, yes, could I take a scalp buy and try and catch 10, 15 pips? Yes, I could. But am I going against the overall daily trend? Yes, I am. I don't know why that's not working. Settings, there we go, cool. So 2020 buy, there you go. Just change the writing to this color. Okay, cool. So that is a possible. But when the body is bigger than the wick on the 2-hour, I'm not as confident. So this is really more of the area that I will be looking at like this. Other than that, that's about it. Still learning, Gavin. Nice, slow and steady. Nice. How you guys been getting on? Anybody in trades today? Still learning. Nice. Cool. Well, we are about to see the market London session. So let's take a look at this and see what happens. I'll stay on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, see what happens, see if there is any movement. Otherwise, what I've noticed with London session, the volume does come in at around 20 minutes into the actual session itself. So really, ideally for me, the scalp sell zones are these areas up top. And then you've got a scalp buy. I'm not as excited about this scalp buy here. because within the next 2 hours, if the 4-hour flips, I think the volume will be extremely strong for this just to continue back down even further. But otherwise, you can see that price is starting to attack that zone already. Let's just look at it on the upside quickly. 1 hour, 45, 30 minute. Yeah, I don't really see a trade. I'd wait for volume to come in and try and catch something nice. You know, if you can, the 12-hour is one you want to pay attention to. So if I just turn off the drawings, 12-hour, we have 2 hours left. You know, if the 12-hour stays a bear candle, then a push down to then try and continue up into this area would be my guesstimate. So if that's the case, then the 4-hour may just stay in and around, floating around this, push up, drop down, staying around this area. So you may not see the breakout for another 2 hours or so. Please can you repeat about the 2-hour candle body on wick? Okay, so let me get my MetaTrader up so I can keep an eye on price in case it moves. And I'll show you something that's worked for me. There's no trades at the moment. Actually, let's just put an alert at the top here and another one down here. So we know that if price is moving, it's moving. I will go back in time a little bit and show you something. If we just go back anywhere really, let's just move price well out the way, up, up, up and away. Okay. And I'll show you something that's worked for me. Right. So let's get rid of this and just go back in time quickly, and we'll go to the 2-hour and take a little look at where price is at. Okay. Now we've got a bit of a bias because we can see what from our previous markings, some potential areas of support resistance. Okay, but let's just go and take a look, and I'll show you some candlestick structures that have really worked for me and help me take certain trades. And you know what, guys, the majority of the trades that I lose, it's because I didn't stick to my plan. It really is. So this trade here, if I just put my 2020 plan up, let's do that again. Okay, if I was looking for 10 to 20 pips here, if price pushed up, I'll be looking for a sell to try and catch, more than likely on this one, 10 pips. But I'll be looking, because there's no top wick on this candle, I'll be looking at this to push down. Okay, so if you can see, price has come up, still no top wick, got to be careful in case there's news. And then you've got that push down. And I think this next candle should go through it. It did, but we probably got wiped out with news. All right. So there's certain candlesticks that I like to trade. This one has a top wick and a bottom wick and a small body. I don't like to trade that one. This one, no. This one, no. Nope, I don't like it. I can get an idea already that the next news candle may well push down. It may tap into this area and but push down, because you can see the way that price is going. Okay, cool. So you got your rejection zone. That would have been my buy zone if there was no news, but I don't take the trade because of news. And if I did, bang, look at that. Okay, so now news has taken effect. Now I can try and identify support resistance areas. Okay, here we have no bottom wick. We're above this BEC structure. So I possibly would look to try and catch, let's see, how many pips would that be? Yeah, I would try and catch 15 pips on this one. This is totally against the grain of how you should be trading, but this has been working for me when I use my risk management. Okay. So I'm not saying it's going to work for you, and it's not easy to explain, but I'll be looking to try and catch 20 or 10 pips will be half of this body. So look at price, you see now everybody's looking at where price went down, but actually if you dissect this, go to the 15-minute, you'll be able to see that price actually did come up into that area so that we were able to catch that trade, which is something that is of interest always when I see these certain candlesticks. Let's carry on. Let's go to a different candle. This one, when I see that you got 1, 2, 3 candles that can't break this wick, then I'll be looking for a sell. So essentially, I will be looking for entering here and then trying to tap into about this area here, which it did. Okay. And that's because I recognize certain candlestick structures. Doesn't always mean it's going to work, but this just works for me. If we wait now and we see a rejection, see if we get a push down. Okay, this wick, I'll be very interested if price, the next candle opened up slightly, if I could catch a sell to try and catch 10 to 20 pips back down, which again, it did. I may well have got stopped out on that trade, but you can see how this area was from around the open down to here. That was nearly 20 pips. Like I said, sometimes I like to just get in there. We got no top wick again. So if price comes up into this area, I'd like to try and catch a sell back down to this zone. And again, it did. Okay, why no top wick, still hasn't broken this area that we're in. So that's a nice time for me to take that trade if I was on the charts and I noticed it. Now you got the push down, you got a beautiful big wick. If price comes up to this area without going to the lower time frames to identify, I would possibly look for a sell to try and get into this zone here, expecting that I may take a second sell up at this zone. Now, bear in mind, from here to here is 40 pips. I very rarely stay in for 40 pips. And this one to come down to this zone is a 70 pip move. All right. So we'll take a look at it, see what happens. And there you can see price came up to this zone and all the way down. If I'd have held all of that, then I would have ended up in profit. Okay. So you can see it doesn't mean that I win every single time. And the hardest thing that I've found trading myself is risk management. It's not the fact that strategy doesn't work, it's the risk management. And so it's really important to, when you make mistakes, to focus on why, and do you know the reason why, and is it easily corrected? Right, I need to work on my mind more. And that's been one of the biggest factors for me. So again, I see if there's anything that I recognize. I would expect this candle to push up slightly, but I would not take a trade in this one because it's a big downtrend right now. And that's why. So going against the trend would be extremely dangerous. Now there's a possibility of taking a sell on this one without any other analysis. If price came up into around this area, then I'd look to try and take a sell and then get the heck out of there. It dropped and didn't do what I thought, and now I wouldn't be taking any trades. I'll be waiting. Okay, now if price does come up to here, I would look to take a sell to try and catch 10 to 15 pips back down, which it did. Boom. Okay, because they haven't turned into bull candles on the 2 hour, and it's tried pushing, tried reversing, hasn't. It will have one more go at it, I believe, and there's a chance of catching on this one. Would have been at this area here, just down to this was 28 pips, 27 pips, just that area alone. Okay. Now remember, this is a 2 hour candle. Sometimes this move takes an hour and 40 minutes. As a scalper, that's extremely frustrating. Again, I would expect this to tap into this wick, but I wouldn't be taking the trade now because I expect a candle to try and create a support, because we have previous support, we have this area here, and we've got this monthly zone that has already been mapped out. So it's kind of a bit cheating. So now I wait. And there's your big push up. That's basically tried to correct that entire move. So if it comes here, I may look for another sell. So let's see. Price came up into that area and it came all the way down to here. I would have caught more than likely anywhere at this zone from here. That's 30 pips. I would definitely wouldn't have caught 100 pips on that move, guys. I wouldn't. I'll be lying to you if I did. But again, it gives you an idea of recognizing why would I have taken that trade? It's actually really nice back testing because you can see how the volume is moving. Okay, you can see how the volume is moving. It's created a real soft support down the bottom. This is just watching the 2 hour. Obviously, when you watch the other time frames, it helps, but sometimes too many time frames can give you too much information that you make the wrong decision. So we tried breaking out, tried pushing down, price has pushed up in a crazy way and then rejected. So now I'm not interested. If it tries to push up first to hit this zone, I would take a sell. If it pushed down first, then come up, I wouldn't take a trade. I wouldn't. But because it pushed up first, down, and then tried to tap in. Now, again, the next candle, because we still haven't broken that zone, I expect if it comes here that we might get another pushback down, which it did. And maybe even one more, but I wouldn't take a trade here. Okay. Let me get rid of the drawings. So it's watching and dissecting and understanding candlesticks. If I was looking to trade here, I would only be looking at the sell if it came into this area. Okay. So I would probably be in the sell now, but it'd be 2 hours of waiting. And there you go. That would have been enough movement for me. Now let's see if it corrects this move on the downside. It does. Now you've got the big push up. And this is where you really want to wait. You could get another engulfing candle coming down to try and tap back into this area. Most retail traders thinking the buys are in, and it could be, but let's see. There you go. There's your engulfing, trying to push down. And now I think you may be on the descent to try and tap into this wick down the bottom here. But you've got news coming in, so you have to be extremely careful. So when news is coming in, you find that it tries to consolidate. And then there's your breakout. Trying to, hasn't managed to. Boom. Boom. And this is pre-news. So now watch, see if it goes back up or down. Cool. So now news has come in. If price pushes down to this zone here, and maybe even here, I would look at buys to try and attack this. Okay. Now, more than likely 10 pips or 20 pips. Actually, this is probably way over 10, 20 pips. Price is not moving, by the way, so we're good. But let's say price comes down to here. That's 20 pips. That's 30 pips. Okay. But knowing that it could tap into this area first, but let's see. And if we dissect this one, let's go to the 1 hour. Take a little look. So you can see price has come down and back up. Just this candle alone, the 1 hour, would have been enough for me. Let's go to the 30-minute and take a look at how that looks. Okay, so this is that candle, push down, you can see, and then push back up. That actually would have been enough for me from this to this. I probably wouldn't have caught it at the very bottom, but 30, yeah, that's a 25 pip move. So that actually would have played out nicely for me. Yeah. No bottom wick. Let's see how this plays. Cool. All right, let's go back to the chart. We're getting some movement coming in. All right, so guys, I hope that gives you an idea. You can do that in the 4 hour. You can do it in the 1 hour. Let's go back, take a little look. Okay, nice. Let's go to the 2 hour. And you can see now we have attacked that top wick on the 2 hour. And so we're coming into our areas of this support resistance on the 30-minute. Let's go to the 1 hour, 45, 30-minute. We've got 15-minute candles about to close. Okay, so the 15 minutes about to close. There's a 15-minute area that it tapped into up the top here. I still don't see a trade. I still don't see a trade. But now if we go back to the 2 hour and take a look, even if we go back like this. Did that go back for me? Or it didn't? No. Even if we go back like this on the 2 hour. All right, take a look at this. Price is on a downtrend, up to down to take out some of the bottom wick. Okay, does that. Next one, look at where the previous wick is. Does it go back up past that or not? Just past it and then rejects, continuation down. Now take a look. When you get that big move and this rejection, now do we have buyers in the market? Don't have a top wick. So could this possibly push back down? There you go, to tap into that area. Closed below, got a bottom wick still. Does it tap into the bottom wick? It does. Turns into a bull. Now we know that support is near enough formed here. Doesn't mean it's not going to continue down, but now can we try and tap into this top wick? If price comes down, would you look to take a buy? There you go, price came down, look to take a buy. Now we've got the top wick, still stuck in this area. Okay, so look how price trying to come back down. No top wick at all. So what happens? The next one just drops. Now resistance is created. So if it pushes up, I'd be looking for a sell. Pushed up. Would I have taken this sell? Let me tell you something here. If I would have identified, even at the best point, which would have been the open of the previous, and taken this, I will be honest with you and tell you what I would have done. Yes, I would have stayed in this trade. I would have. Would I have looked to take a second trade at this area? More than likely. But this wouldn't have done my 20 pips on that move. But if we press it again, and we near enough have done the 20 pips, okay. Now you can see that these three candles can't break this one candle. So let's see if we get another tap into this area at the top. We don't. We get this crazy move down into this zone again. And then now we're at that point where we get that move down, and then all of a sudden we get this trying to push back up, trying to push back up. So we're just, guys, we're stuck in an area right now that is not the prettiest. It's not the prettiest, and it's not an area that I really would look to take any trades. I'd wait for breakouts. I'd wait for New York session. I'd wait to see if there's any movements later on the day that you can capitalize on. All right. Other than that, that's it. Marketa, did that help with what I mentioned? You know, with the 2-hour candle, especially when you find there's a candle that has like created a support or resistance and has a bigger wick than the body, high possibility of continuation to take out the wick. Remember, this is just like gambling at the casino. You have to know that, like blackjack, poker, you cannot win every hand. But if you understand the probabilities, then there's a high probability of you becoming profitable over time. I messed up the other day. I went and over traded whilst out walking, went totally against all my rules, everything. And you know, there was a time that I could have just shut it down at 3%. It was just sat 3%, minus 3% that was. And my ego got in the way, and knowing that everybody was looking at it publicly, I wanted it to be in profit, and that ended up stinging me even more. Now, if I'd have shut it down, even at 5% loss, I still would have been 3% up for the month so far. And so that's a lesson learned. It's so hard to take the loss. It's so hard to, when you lose money and percentages, and the goal is the bigger amount of money that you won. It's so hard to shut down the loss and say, I'm okay with that because I'm on the right path to the end goal. And that's something I've been working on a long time now. So please understand, it doesn't just happen overnight for most. I would love it to, but our brains are wired in certain ways that can really mess us up at certain times. But we'll figure it out together. Please give times for the 3 sessions. I'm not too sure what you mean. Which 3 sessions are you on about? I hit that buy trade that you posted, no worries. I didn't post a trade. I said a buy limit that I was looking at, but it didn't trigger it. So if that's what you meant. 20 minutes, watch the 10 and 20-minute candles now. You see how the 10-minute has created a brother engulfing to the downside. We're just bouncing around this area. I'd really just set alerts, wait, see what happens. Wait for the 4-hour candle to finish. If it finishes similar to like I said here, then I expect it to come down into this zone for then a push up, and you may get a rejection here, which would coincide nicely with the 12-hour trying to tap into this zone, possibly as well, but let's see. Okay, so we've got, I'm in Hawaii, please. Asian, London, New York, what time does it start? This is something you need to go and research yourself. because I'm in a different time zone to you guys. So London session started 20 minutes ago. Okay. So this is something you need to go and study and learn and work out with your time zones in Hawaii. But whatever the time is there, 20 minutes ago is when the London session started. So what time is it there in Hawaii now? Hawaii. What time is it in Hawaii? All right, 10:20. So at 10 o'clock p.m., London session open. At 9 o'clock, you may see some movement in between 9 and 10 p.m. beforehand as well, pre-London. That's when I have seen some movement happen. And you can see that on the previous candles that are here, that there has been some volume. All right, guys? Coolio. With that being the case, I'm not going to just stay on here and chat. I'm always honored to be able to share this to at least one person. And if this helps, then great. If not, it's helping me stay accountable. We got our group chats, so stay tuned into the Telegram channels and chats so that you can keep up to date. But otherwise, guys, I really don't see anything right now. Pay attention to 1964.7 if it's way before news. If it's closer to news, it goes out the window. And pay attention to 1971.4 and 1972.6 for potential scalp areas. But again, I'm done for the day trading, so I'm not taking any more trades today personally. I'm going to get on with my day, and I will see how you guys get on. Let us know. Stay plugged in all my social medias on Instagram, David J. Hunt, and I am updating my journey every single day. Cool. Sending love to you guys. There'll be a New York session with Flavius at what time is the New York session that he's starting it? He's starting the session at, I will tell you now. Flavius is doing his New York session at 12:45 p.m. UK time. Okay, 12:45 p.m. UK time. All right, guys. Coolio. It's been a pleasure. This was my first ever YouTube live. I hope that this has helped. If not, like I said, it's helping me, and I'll share the journey as we go along. Take care, be safe, don't overtrade, and see you at the top. Bye-bye for now.